we had a meetup. Based on what I've been told, he has been nice here, and I see some maybe better choices. I feel like by not having this, other students how they work and figuring out how to do this stuff.
The accounting system is to navigate and how frustrating it can be to get our children help. So much so that some people make it their jobs to advocate for the rights of these individuals. There are minimal resources available throughout the county, and those that are offered have lengthy wait lists. Sierra Vista themselves have over 100 people waiting for services outside of the school setting. This program also allows our students to be seen regardless of insurance or diagnosis. The average wait time to receive a diagnosis right now is 1 year. Nice.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, no way.
Okay. When a child is physically struggling, they need support immediately, not months to a year. At that rate, the child will most likely be in a different, possibly even declined state when an assessment begins. Lastly, it's difficult to keep up with appointments. Services like this are usually done 2 to 4 times a month. The majority of our affected families don't have the ability to remove the child from school or themselves from work to be able to keep up with weekly or bi-weekly appointments. There's always other places to put our money. It can seem like this program only helps a small percentage of our students, but if you consider the bigger picture, if you throw a pebble into a pond, it creates a ripple. These ripples can either have a positive or negative effect. If we send out a small number of our students with the skills and confidence to be able to pass what they have learned on to their peers, we'll see a positive effect in how our students as a school can handle situations even without the intervention of staff. We urge you to please reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Good. Here we go. Good evening, all. My name is Tim Whitfield, and I'm currently serving as the president of the Weaver Performing Arts Boosters. I wanted to come forward and express my gratitude for allowing the boosters to partner with the district to support the Weaver Performing Arts program. After starting the organization in April to May of last year, we have accomplished many things together. First, parents and staff involved with the WPA boosters hosted a successful 2023 spring movie night at Farmdale, when we screened Moana to begin to build excitement for the Moana Junior production that was planned. Second, we organized a second district movie night in October of 2023 for our district families. We organized the annual gala to raise funds and build public awareness of our Moana Junior production. Booster parents visited various service organizations across Merced to promote the Moana Junior production and screen a promotional video of our students. We provided snacks, drinks, and meals to the students multiple times throughout the year. We purchased several useful, reusable items such as a dress streamer, ballet flats for cast members, microphone leads, etc. We facilitated the audio recordings of cast members via the Merced County Office of Education for use in promotional materials. We built set pieces and props, and we sponsored several opportunities for the students to watch others perform in theater, including our latest field trip to see the traveling Broadway show Aladdin in Fresno. I have an entire list of accomplishments that I would like to share with each of you, if I'm allowed, to show that your support has been invaluable by letting parents of your students participate in your programs through school-connected organizations such as Weaver Performing Arts Boosters and the Weaver Music Boosters. The arts offerings in this district are absolutely one of a kind, and I, as well as my fellow parents, applaud your dedication and support of the arts. We look forward to continuing to partner with you in the future. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Diane.
Peter DiPiazza, fifth grade teacher at Pioneer. I have 3 items to bring to the board's attention. The first is a correction to one of the consent items. There's a fundraiser listed as being a grad night ceremony concession sales at Weaver. The date is listed as 5/3/24, and I believe the date should be 6/7/24. That's the grad ceremony concession sales at Weaver. And the date was 5/3, and I believe it should be 6/7. The next thing I want to talk about is the Merced County Office of Education runs a writing festival each year. This was their 40th year of doing that, and Farmdale has participated pretty vigorously in it over the years. OLM has been incredible at it, and I'm trying to get Pioneer to participate also. This year, my class entered a number of entries, about 20, and the entire entry for the county was over 2,600 entries. So there were a lot of students who participated in that program across the county. Out of those students that we entered and out of the 2,600, the 5th grade at Pioneer dominated in the category of critique and evaluation, that we took first, second, and third places in that category. The students were Hannah Hayes, took first place, Malachi Half took second place, and Ronan Bang took third place. There was an autobiographical entry, and that was by Abraham Villafana, and he took second place in the 5th grade category for this county. And then Molly Quasada entered a poem, which was a quatrain, and she took first place in that. So we had 2 first place, 2 seconds, and 1 third. The Merced County also has a speech festival, which is a little newer than the writing festival. And we are allowed only 3 entries, 3 students per grade level. And that's at 5th grade and up in the middle school. And so we did have 3 students who entered. All of them participated. One of them is here tonight, Amy Persla there. So it was our first time entering the speech festival, and Amy and the other entries and I learned a lot about the process of the speech contest. It operates similar to the writing contest, but it does operate a little bit differently. There were things that I didn't realize, and I'm more knowledgeable now. I did want you to each get a copy of the winning entries from 5th grade at Pioneer. And I hope you will at least peruse those briefly. They are some pretty amazing pieces of writing for 10-year-old students. The last item I want to speak on, am I out? Yeah, am I done? Yes, go ahead. Thank you. It's a different topic. I wanted to talk a little bit briefly about, I was looking over the public comment section in the past minutes. And they are, the record of public comment is so vague that it obfuscates the actual thoughts and concerns and reasons of the speaker that they brought the issue to the board's concern. The record should accurately reflect the speaker's comments in a way that is useful and furthers understanding of the board and the public. As the record now stands, it is unclear what position the speaker took on a particular topic. For example, there was in the minutes, Carla Gonzalez commented on summer enrichment program. This neither provides any guidance or understanding of was she in favor of it, was she against it, did she have a particular concern? It just says Carla Gonzalez commented on it. Counselor Andrea DeVoe Higgins commented on the Sierra Vista contract. Again, we don't know if she was in favor of it being removed or against it being removed, or that she was ambivalent. So I would like to suggest that the record of public comment be more detailed and reflect what the speaker's main points were. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Janae Day, the Weaver Performing Arts Director, and I just have an announcement and some good news to share with you. With the prompting of our Boosters president, he encouraged me to apply for Disney grants to cover the rights, the patent rights for the next play to come. So the announcement is the next play to come is Aladdin. And I applied for the grant through Disney. And I have to say that I believe that we actually won the grant due to the students that are here. Because one of the questions on the grant asked, what is your definition of success? And I relayed so many stories from the students that are right here about the success stories and how, what the Weaver Performing Arts has done in their lives, and how successful and how brave they become and not so shy, and how confident they become. And I truly believe we won that grant because of the students that are here tonight. So I'm really excited. That's going to cover, to buy the copyrights of the play, it's anywhere from $700 to $1,400, and that's going to cover a good portion of it. There are other things that we buy along with that, with extra script books and things like that, but that's going to cover quite a bit of it. So I'm very excited to share that news with you, and it's all due to these kids.
Anyone else?
There we go. We have the agenda for the, excuse me, April 10, 2024 regular board meeting minutes. I need a motion.
I move that we approve the April 10, 2024.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. And I need a motion on the May 1st, 2024 special meeting minutes.
I move that we approve.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All righty. Public hearing, fire and environmental assessment proposed Tuttle Elementary School. Do you guys have it on your things? Did I forget to mention that we changed also the action item for student exposure matter to 11.12? Sorry about that. We'll get started. Yes, let's go ahead and open that. We'll start the, you have to have a motion, right? No, it'll be- Here we go, at 7:05, we'll open for discussion. Anybody?
Yeah, so the background on that, this is the process that has taken us forever to get through. And this is the environmental study that we have to do to send to DTSC in order to have the state approve a site for schools. And it did take a long time. And then once it came out, they wanted a little bit more review. So it went back in for a short period of time. But it finally came out and it's approved. And at that point, we had to have a 30-day period for public comment. When it posted, we had to have it available at the district office and also library, right? Yeah. And in the end, it's a 434-page document, and it contains extensive independent testing results. And basically, in the end, it says, Rincon recommends no further assessment is necessary and requests no further action determination by DTSC. So,
Does this concern the plume line or plume property?
yeah,
There we go. Yes, it's the new school site that is right over here, Lime property that we're buying.
Yeah, okay, so that, the district officially has that. It is, it's out of escrow and it's.
No,
Okay.
we're still in escrow. And we couldn't get out of escrow until the state approves our site as a school site. And if we did not get approval, then we could have backed out of escrow and not purchased land because it would be worthless to us.
Okay, but as of today, the situation is that the district will be purchasing the land for a new school.
Yeah, it's our land to purchase. This was a process that took far too long to happen, but it happened. Now this means that we can start moving towards closing and owning the property.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Did that, so we need to do a vote on that? No, no, we don't. So we have special items and reports. We have recognition of Weaver Performing Arts Department students at College Junior, Junior Performing. That should be over.
We have to set up in the.
Are there still people, are there people over there?
No, everybody's here, Andy. I'm gonna check, the chairs are set up.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go next door. We have, certificates for everybody that, either was a cast member or crew. And Mr. Day is going to go ahead and present those to you. Probably, yeah, and we'll help present them. But one of the things I just want to say is those cast members, I know you had a good time, but I know you worked hard. I know that over breaks, you didn't take a break. Your parents were extremely dedicated. They made sure you were there for all of the rehearsals and all the practices. And at this point, I think you think it was really neat to be in this, and I would agree. But I think when you're an adult and you look back, you're going to be extremely proud of yourself and what you did. You not only performed in front of thousands of people, you also built a small community of friends and people that will keep you connected to school, and hopefully you'll carry those people with you into life as good, strong friends. As far as the parents, amazing job. You guys did a lot to get all the kids to the practices and rehearsals and to the crew. Nothing can be done without the adults in the background. This is kind of a grassroots effort and always has been in the district, where the people of the district and the teachers have just decided to make this happen. And they volunteer their own time, energy at doing this, and they love providing this for the students. So if we could, good job, everybody. We'll go outside and do our certificate.
I would also like to say that I think this is what makes Weaver Union School District, Weaver Union School District. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna say Ryan too. He was here, but-
Right when you guys start. Working in here. I know, I did.
How are you? He's walking with all the kids. He's trying to golf around.
Maybe I also seen her dance.
I'm gonna go get my water. Good to see you. Eli gone, long time no see.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Oh, yeah,
How
I'm.
you been? Long time no see.
Long time no see.
was looking for that. I'm like, did we get it for soccer?
I don't think we typed it for
No, we didn't. So I'm looking like, oh man, of course. It's that time we need it. But that was the only thing I could remember, because then all the other rules,
Oh,
We didn't start even really using until the team was practicing the real rules from Luna.
I don't know about mine, I think it's cold.
It was especially cold. I know.
It's cold.
It was stuffy.
It's the same thing I'm saying. It smells like fluff.
Everybody who's freezing. How are you? We're
We have a little chat. It was nice to see you.
He's still drunk. He's drunk like you. Good. How many years ago was that when you worked there? It's like, how did we long? Or no, more than that. Oh, we were. Oh, God, I remember. Yeah, wait, well. We were.
You just have to speak really directly.
Would you like to move in the booth?
Oh, no, it's very. It's not normal, it's just a video of y'all.
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
Smith called in sick tonight. Some people have that privilege. Said I'm not gonna be there at 12 to get around to the chocolate. We ready?
7:30 exactly. I'm gonna mess this up bad, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Kashuru. Yahara.
Also known as Kush. So, and he's here to talk about key steps for the possible GEO bond, if that's the direction that the board wants to go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kush Giara with CFW. Is the mic working?
Yes.
I've had the privilege of serving the district for more than 20 years, and I'm very pleased to be here tonight to present to you some continued progress working towards a general obligation bond, possibly this November. As Superintendent Weber had mentioned, tonight is not an action item. Tonight, we're just going to be presenting you some information, and if directed by your staff, we'll come back at a future meeting with a resolution for your formal consideration at that time. So this is way of background. I think you've seen the slide before, but the district has had 3 successful bond programs since 2000. You've put those monies to good use, building schools, improving facilities, but those programs weren't designed to take care of all your needs, and there are ongoing needs that are not met yet. The district has been able to save up some facilities funds. You are eligible to receive some state aid, but those sources alone aren't enough to meet all of your needs. The next slide, please. So based on preliminary direction from the board, we've been working towards establishing a new bond program, as we've done in the past. The key steps to establishing a new bond program are to prepare a facilities improvement plan. And that's getting more important than it ever was. And I commend the district in having the foresight to have that done. The process began last year and completed early this year. Because today, if you're going to go and ask voters for money to continue to improve your facilities, one of the first things they're going to want to know is what are you going to do with the money, and do you have a plan, which this district does have. The second part of the process is to conduct a voter opinion survey and get input from the community as to if this is something that they wish to support, if they wish to invest in their schools at this time, and what projects are the most important to them. You've completed that process as well, and at a previous meeting, you were presented those survey results, which were very positive. It's great to see that your community acknowledges the work that you're doing and appreciates the work that the board, the staff, the teachers, the community is doing. So that was very positive. I think the survey consultant told you that that was one of the stronger or amongst the strongest survey results that he's seen being in this election cycle that he's worked on. So the process the parts that are in progress is getting the word out to the community, conducting public information. I think it's been very important for this board to always be very transparent with your community. And part of what you're doing is you've engaged a firm to perform that outreach and inform the community of what this measure would be, what it would involve, what it would cost, and what you would do with that. What's also in progress is a process of establishing a final project list, a bond amount, and considering calling the election. The specific components of calling an election include a project list and the ballot language. Most of the other information in the resolution is legal requirements. So we'll be reviewing a little bit later on in this presentation the possible projects that you may consider, as well as possible language that you may present to the voters in consideration of this. Moving forward, if the board were to call an election, the next steps were, as you've done in the past, is that an independent campaign committee would be formed. You cannot use any district resources to promote the measure, to advocate for a yes vote. You can absolutely continue to disseminate factual information, but a separate group of folks would need to come together. They would need to raise their own funds in order to be able to advocate and get the vote out and get likely voters to go ahead and support the measure. The county then conducts the mail via ballot and at the polling places. Over the years, since back when we first did this election, back almost 20 more years ago, most of the voters voted at the polls. Today, a majority of the voters vote by mail. So much of the campaign efforts will be focused around the October timeframe as compared to early November, because the majority of your votes and possibly your election will be decided by the end of October. So on the next page, I know you've seen this slide before. I wanted to review a little bit about the proposed bond program. While there are needs at the schools, this board has always been very mindful of any impact to taxpayers. So your staff had sent us out to say, find me a way that I can generate some dollars but I want to minimize the impact to taxpayers. So the proposed structure of the bonds that that are being proposed to the board right now for their consideration is a bond program that will wait until the 2000 election bonds are paid off before we start levying new payments on local residents. So that the goal of the program is that the overall tax rate does not change, the overall tax rate remains level, and new bonds are issued only as old bonds are paid off. This approach generates about $20 million in total funds. And while the $20 million alone is not enough to construct a new school and do the other improvements, the $20 million plus some of the facilities funds you've saved, plus some of the state aid dollars that you would be eligible to receive, the combination of all of those, just as you've done in the past, you've used local funds, you've used state aid, and you've used local dollars to be able to improve and build some of the facilities. All of those together would have to come together in order to be able to build a school, which is the primary project, and continue to make improvements at your school site. The one point that I wanted to point out over here is that the intent of the program is to create a stable tax rate. As a matter of fact, you see the tax rate will decline over time because as additional bonds get paid off, the new bonds are limited to a maximum tax rate of $30 per 100,000. As you see those green bars there, the total length of the bars gets shorter over time. But the program, what I wanted to point out is the district does not calculate the tax rate. The county calculates the tax rate. Various factors go into calculating the tax rate. So while it is clear that the intent of the program, and while we intend to be conservative in establishing the program, is to create a stable or actually a declining tax rate environment over time, the specific commitment of that there will never be a change in the tax rate or there will never be an increase or a reduction in the tax rate is not something that the school board can make, because once again, you don't control the tax rate, the county does. Having said that, if I look at the last 3 elections that we did, and then we total what the tax rate that we had estimated to voters when we stack them all together, the total tax rate was about $80 per $100,000 of assessed valuation. Currently, we're charging taxpayers only about 40. So you can see from the conservative nature of the projections that the actual tax rates are lower than what we had estimated to voters at the time of all the elections. And I think that's an extension of the good financial practices of this district and the board over the years. But I did want to point out that we cannot unequivocally say under any circumstances the tax will not vary from the current tax year. But we can clearly have a program that only layers in new bonds as the old bonds are paid off. With that, the next page provides you some preliminary estimates of what the taxes or the bond program would look like. We're proposing about $20 million. You could generate more than $20 million possibly, but that would cause you to have to raise tax rates and not be able to just level out the tax rates. The bonds would be issued in multiple series, just as you have done in the past. We estimate the term of each bond to be about 30 years. We estimate that assessed valuation will grow in the future at about 4.5%. We've been actually growing by about 7%. So if assessed valuation continues to grow at a greater rate than projected, that will result in the tax rate going down. That's part of the reason why your tax rates are lower than you had estimated to voters in prior elections. The estimated interest cost today is about 4.7% of the bonds. Of course, that would vary based on the time we actually issue the bonds, but I wanted to give you an idea of what that number would be. It's by no means the lowest tax rate. Interest rates went down to the high 2s, low 3% about 2 years ago. Since then, you may know there's been a ramp up in tax rates. We're hoping that there will be some cuts. There's some cuts in tax rates anticipated by the Federal Reserve. So the time we actually sell the bonds, if there's a successful election, the tax rate, the interest rate may be lower than that. But right now, just for the purpose of calculating, we calculate about a 4.7%. The bonds include both current interest and capital depreciation bonds, bonds that accrue interest, bonds that make interest payments over time. And the highest tax rate that we anticipate is $30 per $100,000 of assessed valuation, and will only grow into that tax rate as prior bonds are paid down. So specifically, the bond resolution that you would be considering at a future meeting contains a couple of pieces of information. The date of the election, which in this case, the next feasible election is November of this year. The maximum principal amount, which is $20 million in this case. The 75-word ballot language, which is what the voters actually see when they go to vote. And this language has been prepared in conjunction with your public information consultant and the survey consultant. There's a limited number of words we have because part of the 75 words, the second half of the 75 words are legal requirements that must go in there. So we have very few words to describe what the district intends to do with the bond if successful. And the first few sentences of the 75 words discuss that. There's a project list that we also want to discuss. And then there's key provisions of Proposition 39. And then a request to consolidate this election to conduct it with other elections in the that will be occurring, both the presidential, other countywide, other statewide elections. So the language below is what has been proposed to be included in the resolution. I'm happy to discuss that with you if you'd like at this point and seek your input. Or if you could please provide input to your superintendent if there are any desired changes, we'll make sure that those are incorporated in any resolution that comes to you in the future for your consideration. Please understand though, part of it, the second part, everything that begins from shall Weaver Union School District, everything else is a legal requirement that follows the law, and we have very little flexibility on that component. So the next slide, then, the second to last slide that I have is the projects. What we've tried to do is we've tried to capture the projects that were indicated in your facilities plan of the desire of the district to do. And we've attempted to capture those, and those will be reflected in the resolution. I wanted to explain that it may not be possible with the funds we have to do everything on this project list. But the project list, if the project does not appear on the resolution in the project list, you cannot do it in the future. If it does appear, it is permissible to do it. It is unlikely, ladies and gentlemen, that we may be able to complete every project to the extent that we want to. But once again, this district has been prudent about identifying the highest priority needs and being successfully able to fund those. This list is a little bit broader than what you may actually be able to fund. But once again, it will then give you the flexibility. These bonds will be sold over many years, the program will go, and priorities may change in the future. And having a little bit broader language provides you that flexibility. So the last page I had is tonight I'm in front of you to just review some of the terms of the key terms of the bonds. If directed by your staff, we will work with Bond Council to prepare a final resolution for your consideration and bring that to your June 12th board meeting. We would then request that the district submit that resolution to the county by June 14th. I believe the deadline is somewhere in July to receive the, yes, it's July 8th. But this is not a district that likes to wait for the last moment to get things done. So we would consider trying to get that in well before the deadline established by the county. Assuming the board does call an election and the county gets submitted a result, one of the last items that the board can actually do to advocate or propose for the bond is to create or have established a valid argument in favor of. It's a 300-word document that'll get published in the ballot pamphlet, and the board can indicate why this may be important for the Weaver community. And that ballot argument is signed by 5 signatories. There's typically a board member. It can be all the board members, but typically what most boards do is they look for a group, maybe a senior citizen to learn them into it, maybe a business owner, maybe a board member, and that's a decision that you will make as you go along. But this is the exception to my rule saying that after you adopt the resolution, you cannot advocate for the bond. This is the one exception where the board legally, on the board's time, can prepare an argument in favor to be included in the publication. Once that part is done, it's mainly the campaign committee, the independent campaign committee that will go out and promote it. Your superintendent, the board members, the staff can absolutely go out to community organizations and continue to provide factual information as to what the election will do, why we need it, what the projects will be covered, and what the cost is, and or how the program is being structured. But you need to stop short of on district time or using district resources to promote a position. You can continue to provide factual information. The election will be in November. If the election is successful in November, and if the board wishes to then pursue issuing the bonds as soon as January of 2025, we can have some funds available to make improvements to your existing school facilities. And I understand that the key project, the main project, is to construct a new school to reduce overcrowding and accommodate growth as it continues. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, happy to discuss any part of the presentation. And also we'll be standing by for any input that we provide to your staff so that we can go back and incorporate it into the resolution as we.
You know, I did mention to the superintendent.
Yes, sir.
On page 5, you got the proposed 75-word ballot,
Yes, sir.
okay? And then right on page 6, you list one of the projects to be the construction of a new elementary school. I would like to have seen that as a priority. I mean, you do mention the construction of a new elementary school in the 75-word wording that you have on page 5, but I think it should be even, I mean, just starting the sentence off. I mean, you know what I mean? I think you should, I mean, to construct a new elementary school, you should begin that sentence on page 5 with that right there.
Yes, sir. And it is a discussion that was had, and of course, ultimately, it's the district's language and the district's decision what you decide to do. But what we want to do this while the construction of a new elementary school is absolutely a major component of the project. Folks, everyone in the community will be paying taxes. Not everyone will be going to the new elementary school. So it's important for the community to know that there will be improvements beyond just the construction of the elementary school. And to appeal to the broadest audience, that was the advice that was provided by the survey consultant. But we will absolutely continue to have that discussion based on your input, sir.
Because what you're doing, you're showing here that you're leading up to that. You're starting off nice, and you know, nice and neat, and you're leading up to after this, maybe the 10th of comma, construct a new school. So you're leading up to it, and you know, you don't have the time and the wording that I think the public, when they go to vote, they need to know that that's paramount, and that's what we actually, that's our main goal. Now, I don't know if the wording came from the board or committee. I mean, I have no knowledge of it.
I understand, sir.
I am in that department, but I did want to voice my concern. I think that should be paramount and voice straight up.
We will absolutely have that discussion with your staff and the team, and we will look at amending that.
And they did listen to us loud and clear, including construct a new elementary school to reduce overcrowding at schools as number 1 on this list, and it's also number 1 in the proposed bond language, or the proposed resolution. Yeah, for the bond. So.
Is that the argument you're speaking about?
Yeah.
Resolution?
Right, so if you guys are moving forward with the bond, if you review that next month, you vote to approve it. And in that document, in that resolution that you approve, it lists the school number 1. Okay,
but I need to clarify, if the resolution is speaking about the argument that they want the board to make. Is that the argument?
No. Resolution would be if the board decides next month to go out for a bond in November, you have to have a vote next month and approve it. And in that resolution, it states it has a school listed.
But that's only for information purposes.
But the voters don't see that.
They don't see that's only for information purposes, as you want to. But I'm talking about when they actually go to the poll, pull the curtain, they actually see, that's what I'm speaking about. That they actually see the construction of the new elementary school.
Yes, sir. We'll absolutely look at that. I just wanted to clarify, though, that the project list that appears in the resolution, that ad verbatim will be printed in the sample ballot that goes to voters. So a component of the resolution, which is the project list, will be, that ad verbatim will be printed in the sample ballot. But yeah, absolutely, sir. We'll take a look at that. We'll have some continued discussions about that.
I actually just want to comment it. I appreciate the write-up because to me, when I see it as a voter, I see something small going to the larger project. So meaning we're not going to spend the entire money right off the bat. It's like a broad impact, forward thinking, to include possible projects covering multiple areas, facilities, and so forth. And as it was mentioned, it's not intended entirely for a single item or a school, but rather to cover the entire district and the facilities that also need repair, that are outdated, and some of the other facilities as well. So I actually like the way it's written.
Another concern of mine, I like the idea, that no district resources may be used. And in your speech, you've been here for about 20 years plus.
Yes, sir.
So how has that worked out? I mean, so what group of people or citizens are coming together and say, hey, I'm gonna do this, so tell me about that.
So I can't tell you for every time, but I know that one of the more recent elections, it was a former superintendent who was willing to chair the campaign committee. And they sought donations from folks for example, vendors who'd served the school district in the past. And they used those funds then to create mailers to communicate to people. At that time, it was also very common to make phone calls, and they would look for some local business that maybe had 4 or 5 phone lines that would donate their offices. We don't really, the phone calls are not really part of it anymore, but the answers to it is there hopefully will be someone in the community that is willing to devote some of their time, and hopefully there will be some well-wishers of the school. It can be community members, it can be vendors that would donate independently to the campaign. The general fund cannot write a check to the campaign committee. So it's by donations, and it is by volunteers. And in the 30-some years I've been doing it, almost every school district, it's wonderful to see there's some folks who probably won't gain anything directly, personally from it, but are usually willing to step up and help out.
And school personnel, staff, administrators.
They can all help on their own time and on their own time and without using any school resources. So if a school administrator wants to go to a sports game one day and he goes there as, I'm going to use your last name, sir, goes there as Mr. Smith, local resident, not Mr. Smith, principal, then in that case, Mr. Smith can say, you know what, we need every vote we can get, we need a supermajority, we need every vote we can get, please consider voting for this. Mr. Smith in that example can do that. But if Mr. Smith cannot go and say, as the principal of your kid, I want you to go and vote yes, they cannot do that in that capacity. And
Personally, with this last bond, I went door to door. As a citizen and parent.
You just place flyers on the door? Or did you
No, I knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, said hello, introduced myself, and handed over the pamphlet. They had any questions.
Everybody had a list of where to go. So we have addresses, we go to the top, and then move on to the next address. Can't remember, we did phone calls last time as well.
I was in DC.
Yeah.
We'd all get together and think they had even used my dad's church one night.
Yeah.
We all had a common piece. We'd sit around the room and get food and just coffee.
And did you get the calling list from the voter registry?
Yeah, we do
I
that.
don't remember how we got it, but we had this big list, and Mr. Becker said, here you go.
You get a CD from the county and will tell you every voter in our district. So we know who votes and doesn't. Anything else?
That's it, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me to your meeting, and we'll stand by for direction, and if directed, we'll come back with a resolution, and it's always hard to say with a bond measure, but your survey clearly indicates that there is a path for success, because you've used your money wisely in the past, and you have a good plan, and there is clearly a need. I understand the elementary schools are quite impacted right now, and you really do need that too, so.
We're positive thinkers, we're gonna get it done.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Wheeler Middle School sixth grade camp.
Sixth grade camp, yeah, so I'll give you guys an update, there's some information on our plan for sixth grade camp next year. So the past couple of years, our sixth grade teachers have come together, so they wanted to explore other options for camp. So this year, Mr. Dallas Reyes and Ms. Criswell kind of led the way on that. They went in April to visit Wonder Valley. They came back, met with their grade level, met with me and Ms. Smith, our sixth grade VP, looked at that. And so what's they were exploring, because their idea of outdoor camp was a little bit different than what Green Meadows was offering the past couple of years. And so they found Wonder Valley, and Wonder Valley is more in alignment with what their vision of outdoor school should be. So we're going to give it a try next year. Wanted to share some information with you guys today. So I have a presentation. Ms. Criswell shared this presentation. There's a short video, and I have some informational slides. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. But this is our plan for next year. So we'll start with a little short video on Wonder Valley. Technical issues already. Oh, there's the issue right here. Sorry, I tested up on the computer.
Minutes away from Sequoia and Kingsburg to Wonder Valley Outdoors to Wonder Valley Outdoor Education Center. Bring the classroom outdoors to Wonder Valley Outdoor Education Center, conveniently located in Central California. Minutes away from Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks on a 75-acre, fully accessible campus. Students explore their environment through hands-on experiential learning in science, leadership, and adventure-based classes. Qualified instructors are provided to lead all classes, so teachers can engage on a level outside of the typical classroom setting. Students develop self-confidence, leadership, and problem-solving skills on overnight trips designed to build new friendships and lasting memories. With over 30 course offerings, including classes that align with California State and Next Generation Science standards, schools can customize their 2, 3, or 4-night program to best fit their needs. A fully stocked health center is included with every overnight trip, with a continued focus on health and well-being. Our trained medical team, including a licensed nurse, are available to administer medications and care for students. Students and teachers alike will love eating at Wonder Valley. Well-balanced buffet meals are prepared by a professional chef to accommodate a variety of dietary needs and palates. Participants will stay in easily accessible resort-style accommodations, complete with air conditioning, plush mattresses, electricity, and private indoor restrooms. As an award-winning youth industry leader for over 50 years, Wonder Valley offers memorable outdoor experiences and innovative learning opportunities designed to complement any school's curriculum. Visit Wonder Valley Outdoor Education Center, where learning comes naturally.
So our sixth grade team is really excited about that. So I'll just go through some quick slides here. I like the leadership part of it. There's a lot of courses right now at Camp Meadows. The students rotate on the 3-day program. They rotate through 3 courses. With Wonder Valley, there'll be 8 courses that they rotate through. They have a well-stocked staff. The food is, I heard it was Joe and Miss Griswold, they both were served lunch. They said it was outstanding. So it's private. There's 75 acres. The past couple of years at Camp Meadows, I know there was a lot of snow and some of the trails. So they weren't able to go hiking like they used to because of some concerns with trails and things like that. So they're able to get a little bit more out there. It's not up in the forest, but it's in the foothills. There. There's more than 17 instructors. There's more rigor. It's aligned more with the STEM and the next generation science standards. They have presenters that come out from Chappie Zoo, Reptile Run. People come out and do presentations based on the courses that you select. This is a sample of some of the classes that are available. I'll share this PowerPoint with you. There we go. 8 classes and 2 night events versus 3 courses and then 1 night event at Camp Meadows. So again, it's in alignment with what their vision of outdoor school would be. They have an amphitheater with benches, campfire, small lake. I don't think we'll do the horseback riding, but it's available. But one thing they did share is that it's all paved. So this year we had a student that was in a mobile wheelchair, and it was a little difficult for him to get around. Offered just beautiful paved areas where he could have been able to go around everywhere. They have a zip line, and they actually would like, he had gone, they strap him in, they have staff that would have to strap him in that zip line and send him down there. So even our students with disabilities or anything like that, they would be able to participate in everything. So they're really excited about that. This is more, this is more of like a dorm room experience. So kind of thinking about colleges and what we're doing with 6th grade, all 6th grade went to UC Merced and kind of, the direction we're going with Abbott and things like that. So, that experience is a little more of a college dorm type experience. Again, the restrooms were awesome. A sample of the menu that they have going on, buffet style, really good food. And the nursing, we have to send our own nurse up every year. With this, there's 3 nursing staff, different licensed nurses that rotate through. So 24-hour care there. And then registration forms, basically they still have a COVID waiver work we have to do, but some of the registration forms they do. So here's a quick sample of what a schedule would be. Again, 8 classes with 2 night options. So it's a pretty rigorous program. There's not a lot of downtime. And that was the one thing they noticed recently, is that there's a little more downtime at Camp Meadows, but here, they're busy. They're busy from the moment they wake up till they go to bed. And that's all I have. Basic information. Yes, hands up, yes.
So we would be looking at just a 3-day.
We can do a 4-day, but the past 2 years, Camp Meadows, we only did a 3-day because of the weather. And then, coming back from COVID, it's difficult to, staffing and getting folks up there too, so.
It seems like our time slot for Camp Meadows in recent years has always just been during dreadful weather. And I'm not sure the kids are loving it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they are.
It's hard.
But, and then without getting into details, what's the cost comparison?
It's about, Camp Meadows is $217 a student. This one is $75 more, and then $24 for the meals. So we're going to fundraise a little bit more. I already talked to our 6th grade team about adding fundraising, so try to offset that cost.
I've been to a couple of conferences with that.
Oh, really?
It's fabulous.
Oh, wow.
Really nice.
Yeah. So they're excited, and again, teacher-led. Something because they're passionate. Our 6th grade teachers are passionate about camp. We've been taking kids to camp forever, and so again, it's more in alignment with what their vision for outdoor school is. So we're going to give it a try and see how it goes. Yes. Distance is not. Let me go back. It was
Is it closer?
It's closer. Oh, let's see. It's east of Fresno, outside Sanger.
That mountain, it's about an hour and a half. And Camp Meadows can be a lot longer if it snows.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we already take our students to Yosemite. So like this Friday, all of our 6th graders are going to Yosemite for a hike with their teachers. So, yeah. So.
One question
Yes.
I didn't ask you before. What about camp counselors?
We're still going to recruit camp counselors from the high school. So we're going to do 2 3-day programs. So we're going to recruit the same counselors. So the counselors will be there for group 1, and they'll stay up there for group 2. Their recommendation is high school seniors only, and they're saying adults, but I don't know, I kind of like the high school senior vibe. I don't know what adults would get as chaperones, but yeah, so we're planning on high school seniors. And we can backfill with juniors, if it's a really campaigning council. Yep, so that's our plan for camp next year, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Rita. Okay, we got some consent action items.
Now, Mr. Villiers, one more? One time period, again the same?
Same to January.
Not that much snow.
No.
You should.
I need a motion to approve the consent action items.
I make,
Do I have a second?
second,
All in favor? We have ayes. Aye. Opposed? Opposed. For the pass. Move on to board action items. Resolution number 1823-24, designated district representative to Merced County School Insurance Group. Did you want to say anything about that, or?
Well, the designees will be Candace in the HR office and Susie. The nice thing is that I can call it anytime. I do call, I talk to adjusters, they'll take my call. So you don't have to be on this list to actually communicate with them. So.
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And resolution number 1923-24, Trustee Wallace's absence from the April 10th, 2024 regular board meeting. I need a motion. And a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
And one abstain. Resolution number 2023-24, teaching outside of credential. Anybody have any comments on that one? Mike, you want to?
Yeah, if you can do a motion and then
Okay, yeah, we'll do a motion.
I'll make a motion.
So this is Miss Dewey, and what happens here on these local assignments is that if they have 12 units in the subject matter, they can teach the subject. If they have 4 upper unit courses, they're allowed to teach the assignment. Elias says she's just an amazing math teacher. They want to keep her. She's great. What will happen, truthfully, is that on our report cards, those kind of things, we will have somebody that's out of assignment. But it's a benefit to our students. It's legal and it's common.
How would it work to go in from multiple to single? Can I go from single to multiple?
Say that again?
You're going from single to multiple credentials here in this depiction.
Yeah.
Are you able to go from single to multiple?
So what this does is if you have any credential, but you have the 12 units. So you can be a single subject, but have 12 units outside of your single subject area that you're credentialed in. You can teach. You can have a multiple subject, have 12 units outside of, that meets the need, and you can teach.
Yeah, because the only reason I brought it up, because it says a teacher with a multiple subject assigned to teach a single subject. And that's the heading of the whole resolution here. So what you just explained, it's okay, so that's the only reason I asked.
Yeah.
Whether you could go from single with the appropriate number of credits and do it,
Yes.
into a multiple area.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm quite sure.
Do I need a second on that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Well, and just accurately answer your question. You couldn't go from single to multiple by having 12 units because multiple subject is competency and schooling in multiple areas. But you can go from multiple subject to this, you can go from single subject to this. You can't go from.
Right, okay.
Does not usually include like that they are continuing education too, usually.
This one doesn't require it.
Okay. All right, we need approval of the Weaver Elementary Teachers Association, WEDA, disclosure on the collective bargaining agreement, BCBA. Anybody have something they'd like to discuss on that? I'll move for a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No one opposed. Approval of Weaver unrepresented certified management disclosure of collective bargaining agreement, BCBA. The administration recommends approval of unrepresented certified management, BCBA. Do I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And next, we have approval of Weaver unrepresented confidential classified management disclosure of collective bargaining agreement. Any motion on that?
I move that we approve.
Do we have any comments? I need a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next, we have the approval of certificated contracts for the 24-25 school year. Any motion? And do we have anybody else to say anything? I need a second then.
Second.
All in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Next, we have the approval of the annual declaration of need for fully qualified educators. I need a motion.
I move.
Anybody have something to say? Gus? I need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And finally, approval for the Global Modular Incorporated bid number 01-2324, purchase lease and delivery of relocatable building projects approved by the Department of State Architecture, or DSA. Does anyone know those people? And we're piggyback on that, I do believe.
No, I'll give you an explanation if we get a motion.
I make a motion.
Thank you. So what this is, yeah, we've gone through Global Modular in the past, and we were able to take advantage of the piggyback program, meaning that it has gone out to bid with a public agency, and then other agencies can piggyback on that. They had their piggyback done years ago, and they wanted to refresh it. They wanted to update it. There was one piece in there that they talked about, they had to add 3% because it's in the piggyback. So what this did, we're not actually buying anything from them right now, but it allowed them to refresh their piggyback contract so that in the future, we or other school districts can take advantage of it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The other question I had, I noticed, somebody for two stores?
Yeah, so on the, yeah, on this, they put every possible building that they can do.
I mean, I saw some of those true stories of the others.
Yeah, we're getting some of those from Pioneer.
Whoa. Well, I don't want no teachers going up there.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. I need a second on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Thank you. Approval of the contract awarded for play structures and shade canopy to TDS contractors in the amount of $2,123,507. I need a motion. Okay, does anybody want to talk about that at all?
It's a pretty hefty sum.
It is. And the nice thing about this hefty sum is it is COVID restricted dollars that if we don't have encumbered by September, go away. And so if we don't spend that money, use it or lose it, and it's by this September. So we have pushed this one aggressively ahead.
The other thing to note is that the actual structures, part of this, just the structures alone, is about $1.6 million. So this is for the other work that goes into that, the contractor.
One thing I didn't see that either, Mike, was, like, what is the durability of these as far as years? I didn't see that, I missed it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, so, like Jose said, forever, what we hope, right? Probably the thing that goes out first is probably the canopies, because they're soft. Yeah. One of the issues we have right now at Pioneer, we can't get replacement parts. And so it's the old plastic, it starts to get brittle, and so.
So now, with this company, are we gonna have that ability to get replacement parts?
We sure hope so. Yeah, they were available for quite a long time. That play structure is probably 30 years old.
So we're still able to get replacements for our playground right now, so.
So you're thinking that this can be used for the new school?
No, no, the money is not.
I'm thinking the bottom parts of the store.
Yeah, I wish. So what actually this is a new play structure at the kindergarten area at Farmville. And then it is shade structure out by their current large structure out by the field. And then it's also, at that one, we add a large rope climbing thing. It's kind of a dome, because they have a lot of area, and the play structure doesn't take up all the area. There's just a lot of other areas. So this will give an additional thing for kids to do, separate them out a little bit. At Pioneer, we're going to take out the two structures that are currently there, and then we will put two new ones in. One for lower grade levels, one for upper grade levels. They're going to be relocated. Instead of being on the side, they'll be directly behind the shade structure that's out there right now at the edge of the blacktop. So they will go there. We will have sidewalk between them. And the other thing is that we have thought about, there's room to put a fence in if needed. And if this became a TK kind of area, we can fence that in if we need to. And then we're getting a new preschool structure there as well. And then at Weaver, is it 120 feet? I'm not sure. I think it's 120 feet, but it's going to be a shade structure where the parent drop off is, the one on Coffee. So it'll be 120, I believe, feet of shade there. Mr. Villa said, hey, when they're out there, we need enough trees. Nowhere to get away from the sun or rain, right? So.
Well, I need a second on that. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. We need approval of the 2022-2023 audit report.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Any discussions there? I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And we had to add 11.12 to this, to report out on student 78881. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to, expel student number.
78881.
Thank you, for the remainder of this 23-24 semester school year. Expel for the first semester of the 24-25 school year, but suspend that fall semester with stipulation.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Okay, you have some non-action items there for board study. Please make sure you read them.
Yeah, and I just want to jump in. 12.2 is important that you read and give feedback before the next meeting, because if you're going to go out to bond and you want to pass this, that meeting won't be the time to give input because it is there. So give input between now and then. if you go to the language it's actually written, most of this you can't do anything about. All your whereases and what for, that is just legalese that you have no control over. Page 10 is where you do have more control, and that school facility project list is the same in the same order as there. You do get to control that. So let me know if there are any concerns or changes or questions.
Now, let me just clarify, did Chris say that this document will actually be in the sample ballot?
He
So
said
that
part.
voters will see where it says construct a new elementary school, will see that bullet first?
From what I understood him to say, he said that part of this, and did he say the list would be in sample ballot? Yes.
Yeah.
And we're not going to allow it not to be first. I think he said it will come exactly as it is here. Right.
Because that would satisfy Lewis's concern that wasn't number one.
Right.
But yet we still have our 75 word in the ballot that Jose was saying made perfect sense because it was kind of small, reading, big. So that way we can kind of have both.
Yeah.
Well, but that can only be put in the ballot if it's gotta be a statement whether it's gonna be a rebuttal or an argument for. It's gotta be an argument or rebuttal. That's the only thing when the voters go in to see the ballot, it's gotta be an argument for.
That is,
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, this is not gonna be there unless we.
This will be on the sample ballot, and this will show them, and this is different than arguments for or against,
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
from my understanding.
But double check, just check, okay, okay.
So when this resolution shows up at the June meeting, that's not the time to make adjustments. That's
no,
gonna be our
it's saying
final
if you've got something to say, you need to say it before then. Get it to Mr. Weber, so we can go ahead and do it. All right then. Do we have a second on that?
No, I'm just asking you to study that well and give me feedback.
Okay, there we go. How about reports? Weaver Elementary Teachers Association, WEDA.
Oh, good meeting.
Bruce, you look quite handsome.
I know, I'm working out. So, today, Teresa prepared a statement for me. She didn't, no, she's not offended. It's like, let me take this. So, she read it. Today, WEDA is celebrating the great work of educators do daily to help students succeed. The WEDA Executive Board is unable to be here tonight as they are celebrating WEDA's WHO Award recipients. The WHO Award, we honor our own. It is the award presented by Merced Mariposa UNISERV to honor individual chapter members for their outstanding contributions to education, the profession, and their local chapter. The honorees from our district are Andrea DeVoe, school counselor from Farmdale, Mary Gomes, former SDC teacher at Pioneer, and Joe De Los Reyes, sixth grade teacher from Weaver. So they're at a dinner and a celebratory event tonight. It is also the California Day of the Teacher. The theme of this year's Day of the Teacher is United for Our Students. We had celebration luncheons take place at each campus for teacher appreciation. We would also like to recognize the dedication of the 4 retired teachers who were on the consent items this evening. They have inspired many generations of students. These teachers have dedicated their lives to educating and supporting students at the Weaver Union School District. WEDA acknowledges and recognizes, in particular, Sherry Smith, who has served this district for 38 years. Andrea Hogue, who has worked for the district for 24 years. Loree Lowe, 16 years, and Perry Fernandez has worked for the district as well for 16 years. Their service and dedication to the Weaver Union School District is commendable and has made a difference in many students and parents' lives. On a business note, WEDA and we at WUSD were able to reach a tentative agreement during the negotiating sessions, and it was ratified by the WEDA membership. The DCBA was approved tonight, earlier, by the school board this evening, and with the help of the Merced County Office of Education staff, The certificated staff will receive all monies agreed upon by the June 30th, 2024 warning. So we are appreciative of the fact that this is going to happen. And we will have an LCAP survey, which we will be concluding and bring to the June board meeting. And then the final note, we have 21 days left for the 23-24 school year. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Teresa. Next, we have Weaver Federation of Educational Employees, Mr. Easley. Now, I just saw him hiding outside the door. In there.
I'm the Vice President of VP, and I just wanted to let you know that we don't have anything to report tonight, except for the fact that we are in negotiations for our contract, and we have our next negotiations tomorrow, and hopefully we will settle. And you guys have a great night.
All right, thank you. Okay, next, Mr. Beal again.
All right. I thought we were at 1,006, we're holding steady at 1,006. A lot going on. We had our Yonder first parent night last night. They were all from the elementary schools. They were all parents from the elementary schools.
So we're very concerned we pass out those numbers.
They were.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So we got a first parent Yonder night, we had 3 parents show up with their children. It's okay, we got another Yonder night tomorrow, and then we have a virtual meeting on 5/14. So none of the positive, the parents have nothing but positive to say about Yonder. They're really excited. So Ms. Bertram presents some information on Yonder and some interesting information about cell phone use, the effects of that on adolescents. So looking forward to going into that. Our 6th graders are going to Camp Yosemite this Friday. We have Career Day going on May 22nd. We're going to have visitors. IYT going great. We're still not at capacity. I think we're like at 35, 36 students. We're still trying to get students hooked up with IYT. But I got to note, we're going to have some visitors on our site because we are, they started Sacramento, they're working right now, so they're gonna have some other folks visiting our site on the 23rd to visit our IYT, how that's going here in Weaver. We have our 5th graders coming out on the 24th, looking forward to that, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We have our 8th graders going to Six Flags, Vallejo, the 8th grade trip. And we're gonna go visit Pioneer Farmdale, our counselors and our leadership students, and we're gonna visit classrooms at the elementary school. We have our 8th grade dance at Lake Yosemite, that's already rock and roll. Our staff versus student softball game, 9 a.m. on June 3rd. June 5th, we have our 8th grade work night. June 6th, we have our end of the year trips, June 5th and 6th. And then graduation day, June 7th, you guys. So we have our stage, our caps and gowns are here, our diplomas, we have our POs in for security. We're gonna go with a different security company because a lot of security is going to the fair, because of the dates of the fair. So we're going with another company. We're gonna have 5 security guards, and we do have some law enforcement coming in the day now. So we already met with maintenance twice. We have our tickets. We're gonna do wristbands. Ms. Finland's suggestion was nobody 2 or older had to have a ticket because she was arguing. He's gonna sit on my lap, and he was about to come So we have the city information out. Our graduation data looks really good. It's not 22 letters. That's 8th students that are confident that have been working on all year long. You know, and sent out letters at the end of the 3rd trimester, 6-week point, and I sent out 22 letters to parents because they're not meeting the criteria. There's about 6 that are probably going to make it, but I sent those letters anyways. But our graduation rate is 96, 97%, which is pretty good. You know, so we always have around 95%, but we're hoping to get more of those students that were considered at risk around the criteria graduate. But it's been a great year. Our teachers, we celebrated on Monday with tacos. Our teachers are awesome. Especially at the middle school, they put up every day, with puberty and attitude and going to eyes. And our 8th graders have shown a lot of growth. Our 6th graders are really excited. They're still 6th graders. Our 7th graders are looking for some growth next year in 8th grade. Our 7th grade teachers, they've really helped together, pretty well. It was really nice to celebrate our teachers on that. Sorry. Thank you, sir. I'm really quick. I want to share some our writing festival and pentathlon awards. So I want to just recognize a few folks. So we had, she wrote the number here. There's quite a few. We got I think it was 37 or 41 students that placed at the pentathlon, but top scoring. So 7th grade. So 7th grade, 3rd place over all 7th graders. Okay, so all 7th graders in the county.
third place, Takashi Paez. He did. He rocked it. And then eighth grade, out of top scoring eighth grader out of all Merced County, second place, Jackson Mitchell.
Oh.
Yeah. And eighth grade, we have the smartest eighth grader in all Merced County. Eighth grade, first place out of all eighth graders, Fernando Barreja Cruz. So rocket. So we're gonna honor our students that are, we have a rally at the end of this Friday to kind of celebrate the end of this session week. So we'll be celebrating our students at that rally. In our writing festival, we had 4 first place winners, 3 second place, and 2 third place. And then 1 honorable mention at the speech festival. So our students are engaged. I just want to shout out to Ms. Punches for leading that. She leads us in the Pentathlon Writing Festival and a speech festival. So a lot of awesome things to celebrate.
So overall, with the super quiz, 7th grade, 6th grade placed 5th overall, and then 8th grade placed teams. 6th grade teams placed 5th overall, and 8th grade teams placed 5th overall.
Wow.
And so we did really good.
Next, we have Mr. Zong, Pioneer. So you should, have it with you. Today was a lot of fun celebrating with the staff, our luncheon. It was just nice to have everyone together and celebrating. My good friend here, Mr. DiPiazza, was going to grace us with some of his singing, but we ran out of time.
Mr. Vaughn did dance for us.
I did dance. We had a lot of fun at our rally, getting ready for the testing that's going on right now. Teachers have reported that they feel like the effort has been really good with most of our students, so we'll be excited to see those results come out. I do want to, just as all the million things that are going on, I did include kind of a checklist so you could visually see how many different activities are going on. I needed to do that just for myself, because when I was looking at the count, I'm like, it looks like a lot. When I listed it, I was like, oh boy, we have a lot of great things coming up. I do want to point out, just in the very back, though, is a picture that I wanted to share with everyone. This is from last weekend's Valley Championship, where our girls bantam team, so 9 and 10-year-olds, got 3rd place across 6 counties. They're 4x1 team. So the second time they ran it, the first time they ran it was to qualify, which was at the Junior Olympics, and they got 1st place. But it was so cool to see how these girls came together. The experience just with traveling to Farmdale and Weaver was awesome to see them all come together. But one of these young ladies at the beginning of the school year really struggled to get to school. A lot of anxiety. Miss Mooneyham was amazing with her and just started building connections with her. But when she joined this track team, you really saw her just really excel. Her personality's come out. At the beginning of the year, she was somewhere around 70-ish% attendance. And right now, she's just at about 90-something%. So, just the involvement of our PBIS teachers, which really go beyond and create those different connections with students, and then the different programs that we're able to offer really do help our students. So thank you for continuing to support.
No matter what. And last but not least,
We enjoyed a luncheon as well. I have to thank Mr. Dong. We shared the same caterer, so he picked the menu for us, and it was delicious. So thank you, Mr. Dong. All right, we are currently at 1,024 classes. We are up 7 from last month. We are still getting the enrollments. We are on the ADC countdown to the end of the year. We have daily activities for the rest of the school year, so I did provide our countdown, so if you want to know what we're doing daily. Today was the letter E, which was exercise day. Yesterday was dance party, and I didn't realize that some staff who were Dodgers fans decided to make it Dodger Day yesterday. So the letter G is on Friday, so it will be Giants Day in celebration. And the good thing is it's Friday, and the Giants are orange, and we're blue and orange, so it goes together. So.
Blue in there too.
going great. We have lots of students taking their time and earning cool prizes for their hard work. We had really great pep rallies last week. That we have daily stuff that they can earn, and teachers are very excited for the work they're doing. So we're excited to see the scores. Also seeing lots of iReady growth this week, getting emails from teachers of students moving up grade levels, being on grade levels, so that's great things too. We have Parents' Day coming up next Friday. Parents will be able to come enjoy a cookie and juice with their children. We're celebrating Writing Festival winners next Thursday at 1:30. We invited Weaver and Pioneer over to do the awards, and Farmdale earned 90. We had 96 winners. Talent show auditions are scheduled for the 14th. Western Day 4th grade Gold Rush coming up on the 24th. Band is getting ready for their concert next week, so come join us at the 16th at 6:30 to see both Pioneer and Farmdale perform. We have cleaned and cleared the stage, so the band will be up on the stage, so we have more space for. UC Merced is coming to Farmville with their opera show. In the past few years, we've actually gone out to UC Merced. They now want to take it on the road. So it's a K3 show. So we have 2 shows, and El Nido and some other schools are actually coming to our site to see the show, so that they can have more audience. Big fall season, staff versus students on May 28th, and our big game against Pioneer on the 31st. Mr. Gong and I talked about it today. That's going to be a fun run. Classes are growing ladybugs right now. So in the past, we've done butterfly growing. Instead, Mrs. Villarreal found that we can get kids to grow ladybugs. And right now, they are getting big and getting legs. We do have a ladybug release day on the 31st, but we may have to release sooner because they're getting too big. Character word of the month is creativity. Strategy is finding ways to make people smile. Our May book is Nisha Makes Friends by Tom Percival. And it's a busy dash for the end.
Thank you, Ms. Gorman. Moving right along. Any other business, folks? I have a report. No, let's talk. You are up there, I just didn't see you. Mike, why don't you give us your report?
Thank you. I'm going to give about a minute, 2 minutes to Ms. Lomelli at the beginning of my report, just to give you an update on Sierra Vista and our transition plan.
So our transition plan with Sierra Vista, I've been working with our counselors very closely. And it was really good one-time money that helped us get back to school, get our kids functioning. But we are returning to pre-COVID our services, so that way we stay within the scope within our practice. And Sierra Vista has been a wonderful partner with us. And so moving forward, all the admins got this email as well as all of our counselors, that students that were already close to end of treatment are being exited by Sierra Vista. And then also students that meet the criteria for mild and moderate, along with a qualifying diagnosis and are on Medi-Cal, those students will be referred to ongoing treatment with Sierra Vista. And the Sierra Vista will be giving out referrals to students and families already for services that are provided in our community that will meet their needs to help them. And then the clinicians are giving our counselors all the information regarding Carillon, which is also here in Merced. I'm reading this because it gets a little confusing here. And so this is option part of Sierra Vista, and the clinicians can still meet with students in this program on school premises. That's if they're in the Carillon program. And the clinicians are going to be giving the list to our counselors of what they've done with each of their students, so that way in July when we return, our counselors can follow up. This has been a great program, but what we did find is that we didn't realize to get a kid enrolled, it was very difficult because parents had to fill out certain packets. And so I know from first-hand experience, some of the people who needed the help the most didn't always follow through, and then it fell on our counselors to try to backtrack and try to find and locate these families. And then also, our clinicians were never used to full case. They could get up to about 35, 40, and sometimes only got to 20 to 25. So I just want to give a little data that our counselors were aware of this. We had a great discussion at our last counselors meeting. Not everyone could be there, but we came up with this plan and moving forward, what would it look like when a student needs a tier 3 and it's out of their scope of practice. So we are working with Sierra Vista and our community, and we are helping to make sure our students get service.
And then
As you know, we had the public hearing tonight for the preliminary environmental study. Still waiting for an email back from Bryce on what the steps are now to get out of escrow, to move this forward, but he will get back to me. But I do want to update you on our current escrow balance. When we went into escrow, we agreed to put in $150,000. Then we had a 180-day period for escrow that to the end of, we could re-up for another 90 days for $100,000. And one of the reasons to re-up is the knowledge that the state can take a long time in approving the property. So we've done that 6 times. So right now, we have $750,000 in escrow. And that will go directly to the property when we close. So the purchase price of the property was $2,247,500 actually. And so using that 750,000, that leaves 1.5 million. So, you know, we're a third of the way there just with the money that's in escrow. So, graduation before our next meeting. So I brought some information that was shared by Weaver to give to you, but it does start at 7. That was the question. What time does it start? It's going to start at 7. I'll pass out your handouts. And then Elias, I'm sure that you will also give them information about parking again, probably on the blacktop and.
Yeah, I'm sending out, you know what I'm saying, I have a spreadsheet I'm gonna send out tomorrow to all teachers. That way they know that elementary teachers like to know who's graduating, and I'll send that information out tomorrow. Okay, and I'll include Susie, and then you can. Sure.
Yeah, and then when you get your information for staff for parking and all that, if you'll include Susie and she can get it.
Okay.
But Karen, on this that I'm going to pass out to you, at the bottom, it does say no air horns.
I'm there cowbells, it can't play me for everyone.
I think that's on.
All right, well, now we have that all done. Any other business? How about starting the next board meeting, date and location? June 12th, 2024 at 5:30 PM, Farmdale Elementary School. Okay. And what's June 21st?
Linda, is that the extra one we do this?
Yeah, we have to.
Oh, right.
For the budget.
Double cap in, but
In and out.
June 21st, 2024 at 5:30 PM at Weaver Middle School Library.
in fact, Peter, I wanted to tell you also, with the survey,
Yes.
don't wait till June,
Yes,
because we already have to have the rough
I
draft.
will,
in June.
I will talk to you about that tomorrow.
Yeah, the sooner we can get that, the better, so we can get it kind of.
That makes sense. Thank you very much.
Okay, being there no further business before the Board of Trustees. Need a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye, opposed?
It's an hour.
There's amazing. Oh, yes.
I know, from here.
Now, my Mahjong has given me a long vest.
Really?
Yeah, and I even asked Judy, I said, is it okay, it's not, is it misappropriation?
Yeah.
And she said, no, it's not at all, that's good. Yeah, of course, so.
It was so much fun. I don't know if you heard the story. I was selling 60.